What's up, LK fam? So today's video is, should you own a skunk? What the pros and cons are on owning a skunk, and yeah, if it's the right pet for you. So first off, I want to start with the cons. We're gonna start with the cons. The worst con is it smells bad. It is, as much as you clean it, it still poops and pees, and when it poops and pees, that poop and pee still smells bad, and the earwax also smells kind of skunky. Now, it's not terrible, but when it's in your house or in a building, it does make the building smell pretty bad. So you have to be super diligent if you want to keep one of these inside and you don't want your house smelling like a skunk. You got to really crack down on keeping it clean, making sure it has poop and pee pads, stuff like that. So that's kind of a con. That's the biggest con in my opinion. Now, you also have to get a license for these things. So, I mean, that's kind of it's not a huge deal, but it is definitely a con. Then you have to find a breeder to buy it. So that's also not easy. You might have to do a little bit of traveling. Some other cons is they don't really poop and pee in the same spot. So therefore, they kind of just go wherever. So I guess that's probably the worst things about the skunk. They're also a little bit bitey. And kind of, I would say, hard to train. I'm gonna put it that way. Now, the positive things of the skunk. One, they're super cool. Nobody else has them. So the cool factor is like, hey, you know, there's a skunk right here, and you know, that's really cool. I think, you know, having pets that are abnormal are really cool just because nobody else has them. This also, you know, there's a reason why other people don't have them, because, well, I'm gonna be honest, they're probably not overall great pets, but they're not easy pets, and most people want a pet that's easy to maintain. They can forget about it, go about life, and they don't have to give it any attention. These things are super social, so they really like their attention, and they like to you know, basically hang out and interact with people. I don't feel like they need like a whole bunch of space for their enclosure, and they're pretty satisfied. I'll show you the enclosure at the end here. This is Pablo, AKA Butthole. And right now we're just feeding him cat food, but you can feed him all sorts of foods. Like they like bread, and like you can they're basically a cleanup crew. So they really like they really like just eating like random trash and stuff, and then they also really like to dig. So you know, providing them stuff like that, they're gonna really like it. But if you give them something to dig in, they're gonna get dirty. So once again, keeping it as an indoor pet, I'm gonna give it probably like a 4 out of 10, which is honestly pretty terrible. I would never want this thing as an indoor pet. Our guy's outside, and I think, you know, if you give them adequate shelter for water, and once you know, snow comes, an area where they can essentially get out of the elements. But I do think they can handle the cold weather. And my dog's gonna come over here and, hey, get out of here. Hey, Custer. So there you go. There you go. You just took a bite out of the dog's nose. So I probably would not mess with them when they're eating. But yeah, like I said, that's why it gets like a pretty low score as being a pet, because, you know, you really don't want to get bit by your little skunky. And I'm sure you could train it more, but I'm not 100% positive. Anyways, yeah, diet is pretty easy. Cat food is a pretty good source for most of it. So yeah, as an outdoor pet, I'd probably give it about like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 as an outdoor pet, just because, you know, if you're keeping it outside, pretty cool. Alrighty, so back in his cage. So here's kind of what I have for a cage setup for him. So it's pretty decent sized. It's not humongous, but it's enough. I have a lot of stuff for him to dig in, wood chips, and then he likes to stay in there. I also have a bin in here, so if it's raining and that thing gets wet or whatever, he can go under the bin. In the wintertime, I'm gonna probably board up the sides so the wind can't blow through the cage. Summary for this skunk is not great. Not gonna lie about that. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. if you have it inside. And I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 if you have it outside, and that simply comes down to the smell. So neither one of the scores are fantastic, but you know, if this is something that you really want and you want to take care of and you want to take it on, I don't ever discourage people that want to try. Now, I think it's very valuable to actually treat the animal with respect, take care of the animal if you're going to get one. But a lot of people, they like to push their agendas on people and say, yeah, nobody should have them because I'm not good at taking care of them or whatever. And I think it really comes down to the person, personality, your finances, and what work you're willing to put into it, because there are some really good owners out there that do take care of the animals great. And so I that's kind of now seeing that kind of interaction with the skunk. And you know, I didn't really shoot much of the video with me handling it when it doesn't have food or water. I just decided I'm gonna take care of it while we're feeding it. We do that every single day. I usually give it 1 meal a day now that it's older, but it's a pretty good meal. So yeah, anyways, that's the video today. If you want a skunk, go buy one. But I would just highly warn you that they are gonna be a handful, and just know what you're getting into. Hey, Say, you wanna say anything to the video? You're just sitting out here. You got your little pacifier in? Alrighty guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Till next time, peace.